Do you get overly anxious going into games? Do you get so nervous and so anxious that you're just distracted and you feel like that is impacting your play on the field or the court? Well, in this training, you're going to learn how you can overcome performance anxiety as an athlete. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental game coach and founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Performance anxiety impacts a lot of athletes. So just know that if you're dealing with these intense feelings of anxiety going into a game, you're not alone. But knowing you're not alone, that doesn't change the fact that you are experiencing these. So within this training, you're going to learn how you can overcome performance anxiety. But first, let's think about for a second why you're experiencing performance anxiety in the first place. Understanding the cause of performance anxiety is one of the key steps to overcoming performance anxiety. Now, we could get into the negative impacts performance anxiety has on your sport, but I feel like you already know what the negative impacts are. We can just put it in a broad term, and it's if you're struggling with anxiety, it's probably decreasing your level of play. You're probably not playing up to your potential. It's because of these intense worries, these intense fears and concerns and thoughts of what's going to happen. I really hope that's not going to happen. Performance anxiety truly is the result of outcome-oriented thinking. Outcome-oriented thinking means you are focused on the outcome. When you're anxious, what are you honestly worried about? You're worried about what's going to happen during the game. You're worried about what is my coach going to think of me if I mess up? What are my parents going to think of me if I make another mistake? What is my team going to think of me if I let them down? Right? It's all those worries about what is going to happen. If you could just immediately snap your fingers and let go of all those worries and concerns, the anxiety would melt away. However, you play a sport. You train for that sport. You care about your sport. Likewise, you care about how you do in your sport, which is why performance anxiety is there. You care about your sport, you want to do well, therefore you worry about your sport. You worry about how you're going to perform. So then you experience performance anxiety. It's a very funny thing because you know that performance anxiety is decreasing your performance. It's decreasing your level of play. But it is that care for your sport that is causing anxiety in the first place. So we have to work on taking your attention off of those outcomes and bringing them back into the present moment. So to help deal with performance anxiety as an athlete, the first step that you need to take, as funny as it sounds, is accept it. Whether we're talking about fear, low confidence, anxiety, or anything, you cannot will it away. I wish you could. That would be so easy. It would be the easiest option for you. I wish I could just say, hey, will your anxiety away. Just think over and over again about, I don't want to feel this way. I can't feel this way. It's done. But you can't do that because you're still focusing on the anxiety. When you're giving your attention to not wanting to feel a certain way, you are only making it worse. When you accept your anxiety before a game, that immediately takes away that resistance. So now you're able to start actually thinking about what you need to think about. That brings us to step number 2. Step number 2 is to make sure that in that moment you are speaking to yourself in a way that is increasing confidence and helping to calm yourself down. Whenever you're anxious, you're probably thinking, I don't want this to happen. What's going to happen if that blank happens? I hope blank doesn't happen, right? All those kinds of thoughts are increasing your anxiety. Begin thinking something different. Begin thinking, I'm going to play great today. I am so excited to play. I am calm. I love playing. I love competing. All those kinds of positive, productive, and calming thoughts, they will work to reduce your anxiety. Step number 3 is to practice some breathing. When we're anxious, our heart rates start to rapidly increase, right? So work on taking deep breaths in that moment. With my athletes I work with, I always recommend count breathing. Count breathing allows you to make sure you're taking nice deep breaths, and it also takes your attention off of your anxiety or off of the future and puts it on to the numbers that you're counting. You don't have to count out loud, you're counting in your head. For example, you might breathe in for a count of 5, breathe out for a count of 10, maybe breathe in for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4. By using count breathing, you work to take control of your breath, slow down your heart rate, and control your attention. The last step is to make sure that you are prepared. I know that sounds odd because you probably feel like you are practicing enough. But if you are anxious, preparation directly influences how confident or how anxious you feel going into a game. If you can prepare more than anybody else, then you're going to feel less anxious. And here's the truth. Some people don't need to prepare as much when we're talking in relation to anxiety. Some people just don't feel that anxiety as much. But if you know that you naturally get anxious before games, then you have to make sure that with that preparation phase, you are doing all that you can to be ready to play and to be prepared. So try those 4 tools. Make sure that you are accepting your anxiety, speaking to yourself in a more confident and calming way, practicing some breath work, taking deep breaths to calm yourself down, and then being sure that you are prepared. And that's going to help reduce your performance anxiety as an athlete. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do. I hope you enjoyed this training. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We put out new trainings each week on sports psychology and the mental game. If you have any questions about this training or any sports psychology topic, please leave a comment below. If you want to learn more about myself or Success Starts Within, head over to successstartswithin.com. Once again, thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do.